Alright, let's talk about a week where I read too little and talked too much. Well, kinda. Cheers! Welcome back, everybody, to me doing the weekly Navel-Gazing, where I talk about, well, what I did last week, what I read last week, what I plan to do this week, what I plan to read this week, and then it all descends into madness and rambling. And, yeah, before we move further, please don't forget, live stream on Saturday with the wonderful Bemused Bookworm. It's already set up. Mark it down in your calendars. Would be fun to have some of you hang out in the chat. And now to the actual stuff, like, what I read last week. The answer is too little. I have finished up The Broken Land, or Hearts, Hands and Voices by Ian MacDonald, and then I started reading Black-Heart Man by Nalo Hopkinson, which came out on Tuesday, but, I only started it on Wednesday. And, yeah, that's kind of what I did. I also decided to start reading 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel García Márquez, although I should probably wait with that until I actually, finish Black-Heart Man. That's the reading. Once again, I was traveling, so not that much reading at a metal festival, just, doesn't happen that much there. And, yeah, that's the reading for last week. So, as I said, not enough reading and probably in the wrong order. So there's that. Let's talk about what I plan to read this week, though, because I have plans. And this time, I'm not traveling, so I might actually get it done. Alright, I am going to finish reading Black-Heart Man by Nalo Hopkinson, perhaps even tonight, even while this is rendering, so it may already be done once you're watching this. That's the first plan. Then, tomorrow, I will be reading 6 Lives by Lavi Tidar. It comes out tomorrow, and I'm going to read immediately. That's the plan. Once that one's over, I will read 100 Years of Solitude and finish 100 Years of Solitude. Once that's over, I'll read, well, in this case, reread Desolation Road by Ian MacDonald. And that's the reading plans for now. Plus, of course, all kinds of academic and non-fiction stuff that kind of happens to come up whenever I'm, working on that goddamn conspiracy video, which is coming, I promise. Honestly, I do. So that's the reading plans for now. You may have seen the post that I did on the community tab that I have decided spontaneously, for no actually good reason, I guess, to go through all the Ian MacDonald's novels I own. It's not all of them, but they're all incredibly hard to find, especially in audio, because, whatever is going on there on Audible, I don't know. So I'll go through those in publication order to just build up some Ian MacDonald content on the internet, because there's very little. I mean, there's basically nothing. My Hopeland video is still one of 3 videos talking about Hopeland, and that book came out last year. So we're not talking about something that has been around forever and no one ever, bothers talking about old books on Booktube. I would get that, but we're talking about something new that got even, nominated for some awards and shit, right? Anyway, so I'm going to do the thing. I'm going to talk about some Ian MacDonald. It will be in sort of roughly publication order, obviously with breaks for the ones that I've already spoken about, which are, of course, King of Morning, Queen of Day, and now The Broken Land, and, well, obviously Hopeland, but, And ideally we'll build all of that up until the 26th of September, which is when supposedly MacDonald's new novel, The Wilding, comes out. I have seen, announcements for it, but I've not seen it anywhere for pre-order, so maybe this is just something that has been pushed back, and I'm not aware of it, but that's the rough plan, and I'll do one per week or whatever, however I feel about these. Some of them are relatively short, some of them are longer, so that's the long-term plan here. But this week, it's going to be finishing Black-Heart Man, which I'm having a lot of fun with. Don't get me wrong, it's a really good book. And then 6 Lives, which I suspect to have a lot of fun with, and then 100 Years of Solitude, which I fear I'm also having a lot of fun with, because I read the first 3 chapters, and I'm like, wow, this actually works for me, which is kind of scary. And then we'll talk about Desolation Road. So that's the reading plans. Now let's look at videos and stuff. And there I did in fact do better, because there were 3 videos last week, which is more than I have done, the last couple of weeks have been more productive in that regard than I've been for a long time. I'm happy with that. It may come at a cost, I don't know. But yeah, I did like 3 videos. I did one, that was that like long promised, reply sort of like addition to what Johan over at Library of the Vikings said about the trust in booktubers and so forth, and I put that one up. I guess on Wednesday, I'm not quite sure. Like, time doesn't make any sense. And then, of course, I put up a video about how to deal with what I call dickhead artists, because I didn't want to call them problematic, because, the words mean something, and problematic is not what they are. Some of them are just like dickheads. Put that one up. And then finally, I also put up the video for The Broken Land. So that's 3 videos in 1 week. That's pretty good for me. I'm mostly happy with like how these videos did. Like, they got good views for my channel, which doesn't do that well in views generally. I'm surprised that I'm positively surprised. I'm very happy about the fact that like over 100 people have clicked on an Ian MacDonald video. Seems there is some interest in the guy, so thank you for that. I really appreciate it. Thanks for the very productive comments both on the Neil Gaiman dickhead artist video and of course the responsibilities of booktubers kind of video. I'd really appreciate that. Maybe some of the booktubers that have watched it will make like their own videos sort of adding to the discussion. That would be neat, but you will never know. That's that. Obviously the Neil Gaiman video is not doing as well as like other people's Neil Gaiman videos, but I think we might already reach the end of that news cycle, and no one's talking about it until maybe more allegations come out or whatever, until people have like picked their sides and nothing will come of it, and we have happily moved on to talk about whatever the next booktube drama will be, which would be sad, but maybe that's the case, or maybe just no one cares about my views, which is also possible. Well, not no one, but you know what I mean, compared to some other people. So there's that. Let's talk about videos that I plan to make this week. Well, you won't be surprised. There will be at least 2 videos. One of them will be, obviously, about Blackheart Man by Nalo Hopkinson. And one of them will, of course, be on 6 Lives by Lavi Tidar. That's the plan for book videos this week. I don't think I'll manage to get all the way to Desolation Road, and I have no idea if I want to even tackle a book like 100 Years of Solitude, because, I don't know enough about magical realism. I don't know enough about the subject. I'm going to read this as context, and I'm going to enjoy it. But I'm not sure if I can provide like any like meaningful insight into a book that has been discussed to death and beyond by literary scholars over the last almost 50 years now, I guess. So we will see how I feel about that. That's the video plan. There's still like a video that I want to kind of talk about, make a video about. That is more like about how, stuff that I've recently thought about a lot in regards to my disabilities and stuff like that. It will come maybe this week, maybe next week, depending on how strongly I feel about something like that and how much time I want to put into sort of like taking notes and shit. But that's independent of like how much I read, so I can basically slip that one in whenever I feel like it, I guess. So that's the rough plans, making videos on Blackheart Man and 6 Lives, because those are new books, and so far I haven't seen many people talk about, I haven't seen anyone talk about Blackheart Man on YouTube, which is, sad, and I suspect very few people will be talking about 6 Lives on YouTube either, so doing the thing where I'll, make videos about books that no one talks about, I feel those are like high priority texts right now. After that, I can always do something else. And Desolation Road really depends on like how long it'll take me to get through those books, to get there. Maybe this week, maybe next week. Because, I'm not a grind tuber, as some people would call, they're making a lot of content and stuff like that. So this will happen whenever it happens. And that's, I think, something that I feel is important, that I kind of wanted to go a bit into for a moment here, and that is the cost of doing these things. Not the financial cost, but exhaustion and stuff. Now, I have obviously been doing a lot of like summer heavy metal festival stuff, and in addition to, reading a lot of books and maybe trying to record 2 or 3 videos per week, And, going to a festival and staying there for like 4 or 5 days, and not sleeping more than like 3 or 4 hours per night, and probably not living a very healthy life. I realized this week when I was at the festival, the wonderful Trudheim Festival near Munich, which was a lot of fun. The festival was a lot of fun. There are obviously some issues about my personal circumstances there, but that's a different thing. I just realized yesterday in the evening that I completely forgot to eat. I'm really bad at eating or remembering to eat, even when I'm at home and when I'm just reading and drinking tea and what I usually do during the day, right? I'm already bad at remembering to eat, and during the festival I just completely forgot. And I did drink a beer here or there, but not eating for like 3 days and just living off mostly beer and 4 hours of sleep per night is well, probably not very healthy. And it takes a toll, like a physical toll at the end of the day. It's like I've gone through festivals much worse than this summer. I guess doing regular workouts at the gym kind of helps with a lot of that stuff, but it still means that when I come back, and there's both the physical exhaustion of just not having slept for a couple of days, but there's also a mental exhaustion because festivals are big. There's hundreds, possibly thousands or tens of thousands of people having to engage with all of that noise, all of that people. That has a mental cost. I'm just sometimes mentally exhausted. I come back here and I just lock myself in a room and don't even talk to my flatmate for a day or two because I'm just I can't see people for now. And that has a cost, right? And I reached that limit, I think, last week, when originally my plan was obviously to pre-record videos, to record those videos on Neil Gaiman and the Library of a Viking reaction or reply video, and to make the videos on both The Broken Land and Blackheart Man. And I reached this point on Wednesday night when I was well, because I'm leaving on Thursday during the day, I have to basically record, finish reading the book on Wednesday night and then record the video immediately so I can have it render and edit overnight and upload all of those before I leave, so I can then publish them incrementally while I'm at the festival, because publishing by phone is just about possible and not much more. So I couldn't do all of that. And then I reached this point at Wednesday evening, 8 o'clock or something in the evening. And I'm I just can't. I'm physically incapable of doing this right now. I'm unable to read more. I'm unable to record another video. I'm unable to even, edit the descriptions and stuff for the videos that I've already finished and uploaded. I can't do it right now. And, that's, in a way, that's a terrifying experience, to reach the point where no matter how much I want to, it's just not possible. And obviously, we're talking about something relatively harmless, which is, in this case, me not finishing a video for, a YouTube channel that, gets a couple hundred views per video when I'm lucky, right? There is no big stakes on this, but being aware of the fact that there are sort of points where I reach sort of my mental and physical barriers, mental and physical capabilities. I just can't go beyond that. I've exhausted my capacity to do this. It's something I need to pay attention to, because I know myself, right? I've certainly had instances in my life where I absolutely overtax my capacities, and then usually just curl up in a ball and just don't talk to anyone for months, and everything falls to shit around me because I just once again overtaxed my ability to do stuff. And I've been doing this for 3 years now, 3.5 years now, and it would be a shame to just fuck up, I guess. So I'm trying to not go down that route. We will see how I manage to do that, because it's difficult to stop while you're sort of on that high. And I'm I've got a video out and another video out, and they have 300 views. That's awesome, and I'm gonna keep going, and then yeah, you hit that wall. I try to not hit that wall again, because wouldn't it be neat if I avoided that for once? So yeah, that's something I need to pay a bit of attention to. We'll see how that goes this week. Obviously, my voice is still somewhat wrecked because, festival, singing, all that stuff. But all in all, this was just 3 days of travel. Well, 4 days, I guess, Thursday travel there, Friday, Saturday concert, travel back on Sunday. Compared to the week before, where it was Tuesday till Sunday. So I'm definitely in better shape today than I was last Monday. But yeah, so I'll try to take it a bit slower this week. Obviously, I've also absolutely overtaxed my finances this month with all dumb shit that happened before, and you have already booked your festival tickets in advance and shit, but like those events still have like running costs that you can't always calculate on while you're there, because suddenly something comes up and you're like, oh shit, I gotta take a different train, and so suddenly you need to pay for a train ticket that is incredibly expensive because you didn't book it in advance and stuff like that. So I'm gonna take it very slow this week because I just can't afford that much, so we'll see how all of that goes. But yeah, that's roughly where I'm at the moment. I have very clear plans for the next couple of days when it comes to reading and finishing videos. I try to not completely exhaust my capacity to make videos and do book stuff and whatnot. And I try to slowly get to the point where I can actually start recording the conspiracy fiction video, which I really want to finish. I really want to get it done. I still want to get it done right, which means I may have to figure out some stuff about like outfits and shit, because I want to record these different bits in different places, the same way I did the video on the Decameron like a couple of weeks ago when I filmed on the outside. So I want to do some outside filming, want to do some cool bits and pieces, right? And that means that maybe I'll have to figure out some outfit stuff, which may cost money, so it'll have to wait until next month when I have at least some cash to buy stuff. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But maybe if I'm lucky, I can finish most of the research and stuff this week and start scripting. And there'll be parts and when I'm just sitting here and do nothing else but just sit and drink beer and ramble, so I can film those parts, and we'll see how that goes. But it's, yeah, I feel like I've reached the point where unless I start filming, I'll just like talk myself out of doing it at all, because it's a big project, and those big projects are always like really scary in this weird way, where I'm just like worried that I'll fuck it up completely. But because I guess the other part is, of course, that those kind of videos come with like different expectations. If I sit down and talk for like 15 minutes about a book I love, right, and it gets like 100 views, like I did with the Ian MacDonald book, I'm incredibly happy. It's like this. It's a book that's been out of print for like decades now, and the only way you can get it is an ebook, and that's it basically. And yeah, that's really cool. But if I sit down and read 5,000-6,000 pages of academic texts and make like a 1 hour, 90 minutes, 2 hour, whatever length video, and it only gets like 300 views because people just don't vibe with the aesthetic, because I'm, me just recording in my bedroom basically, then I feel sort of like let down in a way, because I'm like, hey, I put all this work into this, and no one is watching it. And you look back at like the videos that I did last year for like the anti-Semitism thing and the one on like author in literature, and both of those are somewhere around like 600-700 views. That's like basically nothing. I mean, not nothing, but it's not a lot of views for like the effort that I put into that kind of stuff. And while I obviously try to not just look at like numbers, because that's not why I'm doing this, YouTube makes it very difficult to fully ignore the numbers. That's kind of the treacherous part here, where I'm like, no God, if this one fails basically by no one watching it, I'll have a problem. Not a problem in any like meaningful way, but it feels like I've done something wrong, because I've put so much like work and care into this thing, and I feel like the longer I'm waiting to record something like that, the more I'm scared of that. Because if I just switch on a camera and ramble for 20 minutes, and then I've not put any effort into this. I've just like switched on the camera and rambled. That's not hard work. And I think that points to like a way we sort of like value work in different ways that might be worth examining in some details. Like, why is that one more effort? Like, why do you think that one is worth more attention than the other one? Just because I'm putting in more time? What kind of labor theory of value are we working under here, right? So I don't know where that is going. It's just like me rambling and trying to explain that sometimes I feel let down. I feel more let down when a video that I put like a lot of heart and soul into, or like a lot of heart like preparation into, gets less of a spectacular reception than I imagined in my wildest dreams. It hits harder than when I just ran for 20 minutes, is my point. So yeah, I don't know where that's going. Just wanted to let that out. Yeah, anyway, thanks for like the reception of those videos last week. I really appreciated that. I hope you'll tune in for the videos this week. I really hope you'll join us for the live stream on the weekend. I've tried this year to, have a couple more guests. I've tried to pick, invite people that are maybe not as well known in the circles of most of you guys watching this. Obviously, not all of you, but I feel like I'm trying to sort of give a stage to or invite people and introduce you to people that you may not have known before. And I think they're all worth talking to and worth watching, obviously, because otherwise I wouldn't invite them. But, so I'm hoping this will, I hope this gets like, some reception from you guys. We're like, hey, cool. Someone I didn't know. Let's find out about them. Let's be curious. That kind of stuff. We'll see how that goes. I hope to see you there. Let me know what you did last week. Let me know what you plan to do this week, what you're reading, all of that stuff down in the comments. I'm waiting for it. I'll see you very soon with the next video. And until then, thanks and, well, cheers.